So these young women in the front here are sisters of St. Benedict. And our mission statement that we have in all of our classrooms, and that big one on the wall over there, begins with that our school has been founded on the Benedictine heritage of prayer and work. And so, over 100 years ago, these sisters are the ones that worked in our school. Well, not these sitting here. They're elder sisters that are long gone. But for 100 years, they established our school and worked in our school. And one of the sisters was always the principal of our school until maybe 30-some years ago. And in the high school, maybe not even that long. So we want to honor them. And so I ask that Dave and Len. So, ask you to raise your hand in blessing. Loving God, you're the giver of all good gifts. Thank you for the gift of the Benedictine sisters, the gift of Sacred Heart School, the gift of the faculty and teachers throughout the over 100-year history of our school, for our present students, for our former students who have been very generous to us over the years. Pray that you bless this mural. May it always remind us that in all things God may be glorified. In the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Father Monsignor. I really have very little to say because I think that this mural has a lot to say. And over the years and the days that you're here, I think you'll unpack it and see more there. I would like to introduce the sisters who came with me. Sister Norma Jean Edie here, Sister Lorraine Kraft, Sister Eulalia Brophy, Sister Karen Violet, Sister Marmion Kraft, Sister Carl's, and Sister Evelyn Stry. Yes, and I'm Sister Anita. And I'm here really to thank you for this wonderful gesture to our heritage. And the Benedictine heritage is over 15 centuries old, but it really is based on the gospel, which St. Benedict had a genius for putting into very practical words for people who were following the monastic life. So practical and so basic that it is a guide for people in other walks of life. And that's why we have so many mottos like work and pray and peace and listen with the ear of your heart. But this one here is wonderful. You might be able to learn how to say it in Latin. Ut in omnibus glorificator Deus. And it's in English there. It's a wonderful response to the fact that you are the Sacred Heart School. The divine love that's poured out into us. And this is our response, to find the joy in all the diversity of things we learn and give it back. So I just want to point out that that is a marvelous motto for anyone who's learning and anyone who's working. I'd like to also just point out how delighted I am to see these. You see the most movement in there is those doves. Those are the things to remind us of the things that are not seen, that are dynamic in our lives. And among those things is the continued support of the Sisters of St. Benedict. We support you in prayer. We support you in our presence when we can. We support you because we are present even if we're not physically here. Our faith tells us that we continue. And we also feel that our presence is here in the spirit of the people who have been educated here, including you. So those doves really mean that the sisters are still rooting for Sacred Heart. Thank you.
I want to thank everyone for the opportunity to do this, to be a part of this school and to have memories for you. I grew up going to a Catholic school from kindergarten to high school, and it was very much a part of my life then, now, and everything in between. There's so much in the Catholic school system that is so good, and things I will never forget. Good upbringing, and you'll really enjoy this in the future when you look back on these days in the school. The mural, after I started trying to formulate an idea, I went up and talked to the sisters and tried to get their views. I wanted to portray them and get their spirit across and what they wanted to say. So this was supposed to be more about them and what they're doing and what has been happening. It progresses from the old school and the church with the first graduating classes in the first classrooms, the old logo, and a couple of the sisters that were teaching at the time. And then because St. Benedict is the center of the whole organization, that's why he is there. And then some of you remember when I was standing on tables trying to take pictures. That was so that I could get good angles. I tried to fudge the faces so that so that everyone isn't exactly recognizable. So I changed, put glasses, took hair, and different things like that. And then, of course, put your new logo. And this is in the chapel where the nuns were praying, and then, of course, the new school in the background. It was based with an acrylic paint. So I painted first in acrylic, and then after I was finished with that, then I completely painted the whole thing over in oil. Then we came and we hung the mural, and I varnished it, and I went home and I got a call. We had a bad batch of varnish, and so I came back and scraped all the little chunks off and painted it again. So it isn't without trials, but everything, you just kind of keep working at things. So it's always a good lesson, and I'll never use that brand of varnish again. So there's always a lesson out there no matter what happens.